What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Be the Fish. As you can tell, I'm bundled up. I got my my Blackfish Gale jacket on because it's cold. It's low 50s right now. Tomorrow is going to be a high of, I think, like 41 degrees in the morning. Going to get up to maybe 48. We're going fishing. We're going fishing with our buddy, Mr. Greg Blanchard. If you don't know who Greg is and you watch kayak fishing, I think you're living under a rock. But Greg's channel, I will drop a card for it and link it down below as well. Me and Greg are going to go fishing. We're going to go to a place that should be popping off. We're going to see for largemouth and smallmouth. It's going to be pretty interesting. Greg is actually from this area. I actually grew up, you know, our kayak circuit was like 8 to 10 people a tournament. And Greg was one of them. He usually won all of them. It's a little windy, so I'll come back in here. Greg and I have never actually fished together. We've never fished by ourselves before, so we're gonna go do that. We might have some other buddies that join us later on the lake, but we've never been fishing together besides fishing against each other in a tournament. So it's about time we did that. We're gonna get out in the lake, hopefully put them on some smallmouth and largemouth. And let me show you guys the baits I'm gonna rig up, and because this is the night before. So I'm rigging up right now. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna bring, and then for you guys, we will be heading to the lake here in a second. First things first, an A-rig. It is the fall, smallmouth or largemouth. They are chasing bait. They are feeding up in the water column. It's time to throw the A-rig. And you saw I lost some fish on this puppy the last time. We're gonna be dragging a little yum dinger around, 1/2 ounce queen tackle tungsten weight. We got a Ned rig, a little max scent, a little general. We got a Demiki rig right here. You haven't listened to the recent Serious Angler podcast or the recent video that was posted, Demiki rig, hopefully it's gonna catch them. We got a Largo shad, kind of a bigger shad profile. We got a smaller shad profile, but a little heavier football head to creep on bottom, a little spark shad. We got Berkeley Stunna, we got a little jerk bait, queen tackle hammerhead, so we got some football jig action, and a Binsky. It is time to throw the blade bait. So per usual, I am bringing way too many rods, way too much stuff. That's just kind of how I roll. It's as much as I try to simplify things, I bring way too much stuff and use like maybe 1 or 2 rods. But hopefully those things can all play because they're all fun to catch them on. Hopefully the fish are gonna be chewing. We're coming off of a temperature high. It was like 70 degrees yesterday. So as these temps are dropping, like I said, it's gonna be high like 48 tomorrow. When we get out in the water, it's gonna be literally 40 degrees, if not like 38 or so, plus a little bit of wind. So it's gonna be cold. These fish should be chewing. Anytime you get a cold front in the fall, you better be on the lake because things are gonna go down. So I'm hoping, I have the areas that I think it'll happen. Just need to go figure out if that's gonna be the deal, but I am excited. And for you guys here in a second, gonna get on the road. But to me, it's tomorrow morning. So I'll see you guys in 3, 2, 1. Oh yeah, just pick a bait and just start fan casting. Yep. Oh. It was like a 16-incher. Ate the A-rig. Oh, come on, eat it. I got one following my A-rig right now. Yeah, sometimes dude, it's really frustrating when you know they're there and they won't eat anything. You're like, this sucks. You can do it with a chatterbait.
That's a good point though. Like, I think you're right. A lot of people don't think of it like that, using it as like a tool to.
It's such a learning tool.
To hone in on the actual presentation of bait you need.
That's right, and it kind of helps you fine tune your baits too, like what weight chatterbait to throw, how deep of a crankbait do you need, how to tune your jerk bait so that you're not getting, so that you're hovering right above the grass line, that sort of thing.
Bailey, did you start here?
No,
Morning in the tournament?
I started where we started this morning. Oh God!
That was starting on this spot.
Oh God! Come on, eat it, dude! I literally vertical dropped the rig on his head and he came up and ate it. You didn't get it though. Oh come on! You got one? Maybe they are shallower. Little one. Maybe they want it on bottom. Ate a Ned. Oh heck yeah. You want a picture? You want a picture?
This works, man.
Fish right under me.
Dude, is there still grass down here, like on the shoreline? Or?
Yeah, if you go up past that buoy, you'll see some grass. He's got a good reach. Oh, dude, I had a bunch of them follow it. Oh, come on. There's a bunch of fish. Yeah, cast right over here.
Like right on the grass line right here at 20, it starts getting choked up in the grass.
Oh, heck yeah. That was like a good one. They're only, there you go. Is that green one?
Yeah, I know, bro.
Yeah, I guess jig's the deal. I really want to see how they're eating that thing. Like if they're already on bottom or they're following it to the bottom. I'm curious. Yep. That's a largemouth. Alright guys, it is slow as heck. We're fishing with Greg today, and Greg has caught a few. We got a couple other guys with us, Brandon Berlinski and Brandon Lewis. Got a little group of folks fishing today, and it is slow. We've all caught a couple fish, but it has been oddly tough. Like, I don't really understand why it's so tough, because it's fall, water temps are low 60s. I think I'd rather have them, mid 50s. But it shouldn't affect it that much. Like, they're chasing it. These fish shouldn't be too pressured, because there is a tournament today. Beyond that, there hasn't been much fishing pressure because it's hunting season here. But beyond that, I mean, there's not much. It's a cold front in October. Typically, that means they should shoot, because it was hot this week. It was a little bit warm for October. We've already gotten our first cold snap, so it's not even that. It's interesting. I'm curious to see if they set up any different this afternoon compared to this morning. We're tying on a new A-rig right now. We just somehow broke one off. And gonna go see if we can't catch any bass. Alright, we got it all tied on. We're back on track. Got a little Hog Farmer A-rig. Bunch of Do It Molds heads. Strike King Rage swimmers with the one Berkeley Power swimmer in the middle to make something different. They've been chasing it. They just haven't been committing to the rig, which has been really weird. We're gonna change things up, see if that'll get them to commit.
But you were thinking this would be like a 30 fish day?
I was thinking this was going to be like a 60, 70.
60, 70.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I really.
Big stuff.
Thought it'd be warmer by now, but it's still like.
There's good grass out here. You know I've seen fish on side. Oh, I lost it. Drop shot. Oh yeah, that's a 6-pounder. Dude, that's a giant. Don't you put that juju on me.
Oh, I see you starting to whip around your rod there. Nice.
That's a giant. That might be bigger than 6. Holy crap. That's a big freaking fish, dude.
Get it on.
Freaking Sanko. Dude.
You want some pictures?
I definitely want to get some pictures.
Oh,
How crazy that is.
it's huge. We'll get some pictures. Give it another jig.
Yeah, I just really want to scale. Alright, let's see how long she goes.
Me too, right?
22. 22 incher.
What?
22.
That's the biggest New York bass I've ever seen. I'm gonna say 6.5.
6.5.
Yeah.
What are you going, Brandon?
6.3.
We're all wrong. Oh, you guys are close. 6.6. 6.6, 6.7.
Giant fish, dude.
22 inches and only 6 pounds. That's messed up.
That's the biggest largemouth.
Lengthwise, yeah.
No.
Heck yeah.
Wait, I'm just gonna take that rod from you for a minute.
Go ahead. I had my fix. Whew, that's a beast. No, we should be okay with those. Got the video. See you later, mama. That's a tank. All right, guys, we are home. It is the next day. Didn't really film an outro. Got a motor put on my kayak, put on my Hobie Pro Angler 14. Again, thanks to the folks over at Morgan Marine, the best Hobie slash kayak dealership in general in the Northeast. They do an amazing job, and really happy to be a part of that team. They take really good care of me. I'll leave a link down below if you're in the Northeast or even in like Virginia, West Virginia, and you're in a need of a kayak or a Hobie. This is the place to be. So I'll leave a link down below. Reach out to Morgan Marine if you need anything. Fishing was tough. It really was. And There's a couple reasons why I think that is. So when we're getting on the water, one thing I was telling Greg when we were texting above, I didn't know the water temperatures at the time, but we had a warm spell throughout this past week where it even got up in the 70s, which for October, I mean, it's not uncommon, but it's not normal. And I saw that we were gonna have like mid 30s this on Friday, but then on Saturday when we fished. So in my mind, that's, you know, that's probably our second, third biggest cold front so far this year in this fall. I'm like, they're gonna chew. We have a pressure drop right there with it as well. Pressure drop, cold front, fall time. You should be smashing them. And so I was pretty excited. I thought we were gonna wreck them. And the fish were there. The fish were exactly where I thought they would be. The only issue was the water temps were still 62 to 63 degrees, which is pretty warm for this time of year. I think if they're about 55 to 57, if not maybe down to 53, we would have train wrecked them. Because they were there, they were following the A-rig, they were following the swim bait. You know, Greg ended up getting some decent ones, dragging a jig, which fall time, you think fish should be feeding up, you should be throwing moving baits, you should be fishing fast. I mean, there was times where even I went down to the drop shot and they would follow it all the way down to the bottom and they just stop and stare at it. It wouldn't do anything. I would dead stick it, you know, I'd burn it up and kill it and go back down again. I'd shake it, I'd do everything. They would not touch it. It was really tough. I mean, I didn't catch many fish at all. But the one that did pan out was that 6-pounder. 6 pounds, 7 ounces, 22 inches. That's a big one. And I want to walk you guys through how I was approaching these fish, because if you guys haven't seen, I don't know, I'm gonna try to post this video, but in time you guys have to go to Greg's channel, subscribe, and then see his point of view, because he caught some good ones off this spot as well, throwing the jig. I was dragging a yum dinger like I showed in a recent video from state championships. I'll put that video right here. But this is kind of how I was approaching it. I'm gonna put a screenshot of Mega Live, because what I was doing with this is I could see fish swimming around in the grass on Mega Live, but the most important thing with this forward-facing sonar that I was doing was I put in the time, like I've mentioned in state championship video, put in the time graphing on my 2D side imaging, etc., using mapping to find these areas, right? Well, with forward-facing, it's not just a fish finding tool. It's great for that, yes. But this also helps me make very, very accurate casts in high percentage areas. That way I'm always keeping my bait in the strike zone, in that target zone where these fish are going to congregate. And what I did was there's these gaps in the grass. And there's some hard cover laid down that it's in the middle of these grass patches. And basically what I wanted to do is make sure I was getting a cast past this grass patch, bring it into the grass. And once I felt myself, you know, queen tackle tungsten in general, you're gonna be able to feel much more things on the bottom. You know, whenever you come in contact, tungsten, way more feel. And it helps to have a really sensitive rod as well. And basically what I could feel myself come through that grass, hit that piece of cover, hit that gap in the grass. And basically what I would do is when I felt that, I'd, you know, click my bail, make sure I have loose line out, make sure that bait isn't moving any further. It's staying in there, and I would start knocking slack, making sure that bait was making a lot of commotion. I'd do that for 5-10 seconds. If nothing, drag a little bit, do the same thing, and then reel back in. And I would repeatedly do that. And you wouldn't catch them every cast, but you know, you've seen me fish this place in the past couple videos. It's a heck of a lot of fun, and that's how I was approaching these fish, where, you know, I'd see them swimming the gaps on Mega Live, but that Mega Live was really important for me to make the right cast to be as efficient as possible. And I actually saw a big blob in the middle of one of those gaps when I made that cast and dragged right through. You guys, you saw the scene where I zoomed in on the rod, went bonk, and I cracked his butt. I knew when I set the hook that that's a big one. But it's super cool to use this technology to be more efficient on the water. I know some people are against forward-facing sonar. I'm just a technology nerd as it is in general, not even just fishing. So being able to use this stuff and make it more efficient for me to catch more fish, I'm all for it. If I'm catching more fish, I'm having more fun. So it's super cool to put that together, because again, this is a learning tool. So it's super cool to kind of put these puzzle pieces together, and over time, it just makes you a better angler when you can put these things together. Use these tools to help you catch more fish, which gives you more insights on how to catch these fish, which will progressively make you better over time. So that was freaking awesome. So I hope you guys understand it. I'll try to make a more breakdown video as we move forward into the fall, as these fish really start feeding. We're going on a trip here in the coming week. We're gonna be gone in Alabama for a week with the X2 crew. We're gonna come back, and then we have about a week and a half or so before we have to leave again. for a work trip. But when we come back from that work trip, we are leaving for Louisiana for the Hobie BOS Tournament of Champions. That's gonna be a heck of a lot of fun. I'm gonna try to get these videos out for you guys in time before the Tournament of Champions, because when that comes, it's gonna be straight fishing. Gonna be worried about that tournament, and then we'll be editing it all for you guys, and probably gonna be doing a bunch of videos from the TOC. So super fun to get with the crew and go fishing. It was finally good to get out with Greg. Grew up around Greg, started fishing kayak tournaments here in New York with Greg back when our trail was, 8 to 10 people. So it's super cool to get with him, finally go fishing, put him around some smallmouth, some largemouth, and catch a freaking giant. That was freaking cool. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys subscribe to Greg's channel if you aren't already. If you're not, you're probably under a rock. If you watch kayak fishing content, you definitely watch Greg. But appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.